Welcome to the 4th episode of Ultimate Overview, a show where we go over each item in Fortnite and explain its strengths, weaknesses, and its role in the game today. My name is Jackson, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about a weapon that used to be so much better. The Burst Assault Rifle. On launch, the Burst Assault Rifle did 27, 29, and 30 damage in common through rare. It fired in a 3-round burst with high bloom and recoil, making it difficult though rewarding to land all 3 rounds in a burst. Most people despised the burst AR at the time, citing its inferiority to the regular AR in almost every situation. Rather than fixing the weapon, Epic Games decided to double down, releasing the purple and gold burst during Season 4 and update version 4.20. The burst would receive its first proper balance update in update 5.40, reducing its bloom while full spraying and improving its hipfire accuracy. These changes failed to sway the public opinion of the burst, resulting in its low-tier variant being vaulted in the 3rd content update of version 7.10, and the high-tier variants vaulting in update 7.30. Chapter 2 Season 1 brought the burst back with some notable changes. Its fire rate was increased from 4.06 to 4.91, which decreased the time between bursts. More importantly though, the Epic and Legendary Burst AR was changed to have increased zoom while aimed in, as well as having first shot accuracy that reset after each burst. Coupled with rampant aim assist on controllers at the time, this made the AUG one of the most powerful weapons in Fortnite history, able to delete opponents at medium and long ranges with ease. Keep in mind that at the time, the burst still had a headshot damage multiplier of 2x, just like any other assault rifle. This means that the gold burst was hitting for 66 damage per headshot, or 198 damage per burst if you landed back-to-back-to-back headshots. This was obviously a bit overpowered, so in Chapter 2 Season 3, Epic decided to tone it back a bit. Chapter 2 Season 3 saw heavy nerfs to the burst AR. Its headshot damage multiplier was reduced from 2x to 1.5x, its capacity was reduced from 30 to 20, and it went from a 3-round burst to only 2. To compensate for this tremendous loss in DPS, the damage across the board was increased by 4. While the burst AR was still good in high rarities, especially its new mythic version, its low tier variants, which already saw very limited use, suffered even more. There was really no point in taking a blue burst over a gray regular AR, especially now that its maximum potential was much worse. The burst would remain in the game until Chapter 2 Season 5, then be unvaulted once again during Chapter 2 Season 7 as a side grade for assault rifles, then put back into the main loot pool in Chapter 2 Season 8, only to be vaulted again for Chapter 3. Now you might think that the nerfs in Chapter 2 Season 3 balanced the burst assault rifle. It was good in high rarities, pretty bad in low rarities. But Epic apparently didn't think so. Chapter 4 Season 1 decided to unvault the burst assault rifle and make it even worse than it was in Chapter 1. Don't believe me? Let's look at the numbers. In update 23.20, the update right after the burst was unvaulted, the burst's fire rate was reduced from 3.95 to 3.69. Its recoil was increased after the second round in the burst, and its first shot accuracy after each burst on the Epic and Legendary rarities was removed, along with the increased zoom. Comparing it to the rare burst assault rifle from Chapter 1, that weapon could hit for 90 damage assuming all 3 rounds landed, not improbable at the right range with players nowadays having much better crosshair placement. Compare that to the modern burst, which can only hit for 86 damage in rare. Even if we only assume 2 rounds in the Chapter 1 burst land, the modern burst only deals 8 more damage per burst. The old burst also shot faster, there was less delay in between bursts, and that's not even taking into account headshot damage, which the old burst just blows the new one out of the water. While yes, the newer burst is more accurate, at long ranges you'll probably allow first shot accuracy to reset after each burst anyway. The only thing the new burst really has going for it is single shot damage, which sort of defeats the entire purpose of a burst fire weapon. Thankfully, the burst was vaulted for Chapter 4 Season 2 and wouldn't be brought back until Season OG brought the burst back, once again firing in bursts of 3. This version was worse, at least statistically, than its actual original version, dealing less damage per shot. Why? Who even knows at this point? The burst has not returned in reload, something I'm very grateful for, and its 3-round burst version is still unavailable in creative, leaving only the 2-round version to play around with. The burst would only end up sticking around in Season OG for a week, being replaced by the heavy assault rifle. On the tier list, I'm going to put the Burst AR in D tier. This placement is based on its most recent iteration in the main game, and since that's the Season OG version, yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be too upset about that one. Anyhow, if y'all enjoyed everything this video had to offer, consider subscribing, cause it helps out a lot. The next video in this series is going to go over grenades, so stay tuned for that soon. I've been Jackson, and this was Ultimate Overview. Thanks, guys. Season OG brought the burst back as its 3-round version. Season OG brought the burst back as its 3-round burst version. Season OG brought the burst back, this time in 3 rounds. Season OG brought the burst back once again in 3 rounds.